Oops. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered, dispersed, but not destroyed. My name is Yemi'el ben Yahuda, and I'd like to welcome you to The Truth, a part of the Awakening Remnant Coalition Dallas. I am one of the elders and teachers here at The Truth. Today's lesson is going to be a very eye-opening lesson. I would tell you to make sure that you have your scriptures. We're going to be traveling into Matthew and Mark, into Revelation. You're going to hear some things today that's going to it's going to open up your eyes, but it's going to bring you to an understanding of the Apocrypha books. This is one of the reasons why I said I could not exclude them from my study, and then it also brought me to a impasse to where I said I can't not teach them. I could not pull myself away from reading them and teaching them to the people because of the overlaying scriptorial references that we're seeing in the Apocrypha books. This is important not only to me, but should be to you as well when it comes to diving into the understanding of Yah's word. Remember, Yeshua HaMashiach is the word made flesh. He is the visible image of an unseen God. He is the messenger of the Most High Yah. And I say this because the word relays message. And if he is the word and the word is Yah, he is the visible image of Yah's word manifest. And so when you start reading into not only Torah and the Tanakh, but when you start also delving into the Apocrypha books and you start seeing the manifestation of Yah's word coming forth through the pages, this should let you know and should give you all understanding that not only Yah is in the book, but Yah is the book. Man, I'm tripped out. And Joseph's going to teach this message. And I'm gonna back off a little bit until the end, because you know me. I have a way of inserting myself in things, and I like to take a light approach to scripture because I believe that we make Yah's word too complicated. In the quest, Shabbat Shalom Aki, in the quest of trying to be deep, we tend to lose track or lose sight that Yah would not make his word so complicated that a child couldn't follow it. That's why in the beginning he used pictographs to make his language understandable to the kids or to the children, to us as his sheep. That's why when he spoke to us, even though sometimes he spoke in parables, for those who are more in depth in his word, to get a greater understanding, but I believe that he spoke in parables so that we would then approach him and ask of him or seek him for his knowledge. Um, these apocryphal books that Esdras is writing out are, man, I'm somewhat at a loss of words. These apocryphal books that Esdras is working out or writing out are so beautiful. Um, and you'll see today, reading the 16th chapter, you'll see today that the beauty of in the penmanship of how these things were explained to us will take you aback. Go ahead, put them down. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm slicing this. Just like I am somewhat overwhelmed by how y'all manifested this chapter. You're going to hear things in this chapter that you have heard in the New Testament, that you've heard in the Old Testament. You're going to hear things, and this is the binding agent. It's kind of like y'all gave you a brick in the Old Testament. He gave you a brick in the New Testament, and then he gave Esdras' word as mortar, so that when you put these two chapters, when you put what you've heard in the Old Testament and the New Testament, and then adding Esdras' writing of what y'all told him, it binds it together so much like a brick wall. Y'all, Stefan, give Joseph a call for me real quick. I forgot to call him. I've been, just put it up here. I've been doing some things today, and I've just been a little sidetracked. After this, though, after we get into the portion where we're going to give an overview, I'm going to say some things. Some things you may not agree with, some things you may. But what I will share with you is this thing is going to change how you perceive the Apocrypha, how you perceive the relationship between Ezra, and I'm going to use his real name, Ezra and Yah, how you will see that Elijah was beloved by Yah. And we know this for a fact because of how it was written in the scriptures. But what you're going to also see is that Esdras, bro, Yah loved Esdras. When I tell you Yah had to have loved Ezra, by the way, y'all hold me back if you have to, but you're going to see that Yah had a love for Ezra, that he didn't have for a lot of folks. And you're going to see this in the scripture this week. And I'm going to try my best to sit here when Joseph comes up. I'm going to try my best to sit here with my mouth shut. But y'all, this is one of those lessons. Thank you. This is one of them lessons that when Joseph jumps in here and he starts reading, I'm gonna have to get off the screen, because if I'm on the screen, I'm gonna be like them old folks in the Baptist church, and in the Holiness Church, I'm gonna have a takeover spirit. Y'all forgive me, y'all. I'm gonna have a takeover spirit. I already know. I've been waiting on this. I've actually been waiting on this for 2 weeks. I'm gonna tell you, I've been actually. I read for the first time 2 weeks ago, Shabbat Shalom, and then
Shabbat Shalom.
I read it again this week, and I'm just gonna warn y'all, and I know Yosef gonna sit there and laugh when I say this, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just telling you that the way that you remember on last week, y'all, when y'all told Esdras to get 5 people that could write, and sit down and talk to them folks and let them write the word. Whatever Negro he found and that penned this part need a Pulitzer Prize. I'm just gonna put it into perspective for y'all. And now to what I was saying earlier, because of that, and I know Joseph understands what I'm saying, I might have a takeover spirit today. So when he starts reading and he starts giving his teaching the message, I'm gonna mute my mic unless he tells me to, or if the spirit gets so strong that I just can't hold it. So I want to introduce to you my big brother, my mentor, my Elijah, my Moses, um, a man that I love dearly, not only in our walk as in this word, but as friends. Oh, Joseph, after we finish teaching, when we get off, don't get off, because I got to tell you a story. You're going to fall out of what happened to me this week about this blessing. Well, won't say a blessing, but yeah, kind of a blessing that happened to me this week. So
Okay.
I just don't want to share it with everybody because it's going to be kind of petty. So I want to introduce to y'all Brother Joseph. Um, y'all get ready for this, because I know if I'm lit up, he already lit up too. If we just haven't mentioned it to one another. So I'm going to turn everything over to him. I love y'all. I will be in the fray.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom. It is great to be here today. Another Shabbat. Just woke up from one of them Shabbat naps. And we thank the Most High for another day, another Shabbat to come and to be able to come and open up the word of Yah to you, to be able to open it up with you as we walk through this thing together. And we're just excited and delighted to be here this morning. And again, to my brother, Yemi'el, um, thank y'all for him and for all that he's been to us and for us. And we most certainly thank the Most High for bringing us together. And then thanking the family. For those of you that are on now, for those of you that are going to be listening sometime later, we give Yah the glory for your ears, your eyes, and your attention. Also for your fellowship, for to our brothers and sisters here as we walk through this thing called life. And so we're going to start Second Esdras chapter 16, and it is quite lengthy. I made a mistake last week. I made a mistake that I often talk to people about, eating the elephant. And so we read almost that whole chapter of Second Esdras 15, and we kind of ate the elephant, but it worked out. It worked out, and so we're not going to do that today. Second Ezra chapter 16 is very, very long. We're looking at 60, 70 something verses. So we're going to just read a little bit, then we'll expound a little bit, and if we get that far, we'll go a little further. But we're not going to by any means try to read even half of this chapter 16. So Second Ezra chapter 16, we're going to start at verse 1. It says, "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it had begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plague. I'll have to read that again. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues. And who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, and the sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. We're going to stop right there. We're going to stop at verse 13. And we're going to we'll stop at verse 13, and we'll go from there. From 1 through 13, we're going to cover these verses here. And again, Esdras is receiving this message from the Most High through the angel Uriel. And as we talked about last week, that he had been given instructions to get 5 writers who could write swiftly and surely, because what he was, what the Most High was going to give to Esdras was of the utmost importance, and he wanted to make sure that Esdras had plenty of writers, plenty of skilled writers, plenty of skilled companions that could carry forth the word of Yah. And so he begins this. he begins this chapter 16 with a woe. And that word woe, that is one of the most desperately desolate words in the scripture. When woe is it's every negative and every tragic connotation that can be brought to one's mind when the Father pronounces woe upon a person, upon a people. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. These people, these nations, let me say nations, these nations were participated in the oppression of Yah's people. Not just past, but up until the present time of this writing, that these nations were some of the primary culprits, or some of the primary players in the oppression of Yah's people. And they had become very good at it. They had become very proficient at oppressing Yah's people. They had made it seem as if that Yah's people had never even been in existence as a nation. They were so good at, and they were so proficient, and they were so persistent, and they were so dastardly and destructive to Yah's people that they made it seem as if Israel had never existed. And so he's pronouncing woe upon these nations tells them to, he says, gird up yourselves, verse 2, gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. It says, you need to, listen, these plagues, these plagues and these curses are coming, and you need to get you plenty of sackcloth and hair for mourning. And those were items that were used for mourning and for fasting and for a prolonged period uh, of doing without. We'll put it that way. He says, get plenty of sackcloth and ashes, plenty of sackcloth and ashes, because you've got a lot of suffering. You've got a lot of you got a lot of time. You're gonna sit and suffer and contemplate what you've done to my people, and bewail your children, and be sorry. He says, not only you, it's not just you, but it's going to be your children. It's going to be your progeny. It's going to be those that are precious to you. It's going to be those that you had raised up and had high hopes for. It's going to be those that you had built up trust funds and you had built up corporations, and you had built up inheritances and heritages, and you had built up cities and states, and you had built up economies, and you had built up all of these things for your children. He says, you're going to bewail your children and be sorry. I want to apologize for what I'm about to say if I step on anyone's toes, but I've been told, and I've never had this experience, but I've been told that one of the greatest sorrows of life is to witness or to see the death or the destruction of your children, see your children pass before, but see a person's child or a person's son or daughter, grandchild, great grandchild pass or to die before they do. And this is precisely what the Most High is telling these nations. He said, listen, listen, it's not just going to be you, it's going to be your children, because your destruction is here. This is what the Father has in store prophetically for the oppressors of Yah's people, for those that he used. Yeah, he allowed, let's put it that way. These nations that he allowed to oppress his people, Yah is not pleased at all. He has not forgotten. I want to say this both ways. I want to say to those of us who are under the thumb of the oppressor, even to this very day, for those of us who are, as Yemi'el says so often and so eloquently, those who are dispersed yet not destroyed, those of us who have been scattered to the four corners of the earth, those of us who are beneath and never above, those of us who because of the oppression and because of the dispersion have lost all knowledge of our past, all knowledge of our history. We have lost our names, we've lost our language, we've lost our land, we've lost all of these things. He says, listen, the destruction of your oppressor is at hand. And then to those of us, those who were involved, who have been involved in our oppression, the Father says, hey, it's coming. Just as sure as shooting, as some folk will say. A sword, your destruction is at hand. Verse 3, a sword is set up on you, and who may turn it back? He says, I'm coming out. The Most High says, listen, I'm not just swinging. I haven't come out swinging. I started swinging ages ago. I'm coming with a haymaker. I'm coming with a roundhouse. I'm not coming with a jab. I'm coming from way back. I'm coming from way back. Y'all see my fist? Just imagine as a sword. I'm coming from way back. I'm coming from way back in history. I'm coming from way back in time. I'm coming from the first from the first uh, from from the first let's say Joseph sold into slavery. Let's say from all the way back then. Before then, I'm coming swinging, and no one can turn it back. And not only am I swinging a sword, but I've set a fire. I've set a fire that can't be put out. So we've seen forest fires in California. We've seen forest fires. We've seen forest fires. Those of us who live in Texas just recently, over the past few months, a good portion of West Texas was on fire, and no one could put it out. And that was just, they were able to sweep that on the rug as far as the news reports. But there was, and still may be to this very present day, forest fires that are not able to be quenched. They call them uncontained. That's the word they use. They said these fires are uncontained. Well, the Father says, I've started a fire among you, and no one is able to quench it. And this is not a natural fire. This is not a forest fire. This is the fire of Yah's wrath. Yah is not playing. He's not pleased. He's not happy with what has happened to his people, all the way up to, and this is part of why we're in trouble right now, Israel. He mad about his son, all the way from Abel, all the way through his son. He's mad. Killed those and slew those without a cause. The enemy has been slaying us without a cause. And then unless we jump on our high horse, y'all don't forget Matthew chapter 27 now. What I call one of the saddest chapters in the Bible. And in many cases, some of us are involved in this because we are the ones who sat up there when Hamashiach came the first time. Came just like they said he was going to come, and did the things he said he was going to do. We turned around and got political and talking about we have no king but Caesar. And then when Pilate tried to let him go, we told Pilate, well, if you let Hamashiach go, you are no friend of Caesar. And so, but Pilate had good sense. He did the best he could. He said, listen, I found no fault in this man, and he washed his hands. Took a bowl and washed his hands and said, listen, I ain't in this. I ain't in it. I'm west of this mess. My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it. And then here we come. Well, let his blood be upon us and upon our children. There we go. And so here we are right now crying, wailing and moaning about how we're getting treated. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 15 through 68, I believe it is. Laundry list of all our trials and all of our troubles from coming out of Sinai all the way to the present day. So he could have put our name in there too. He could have put our name on that list with Egypt and Syria and Babylon and Asia, because we were in on it too. He says there's no quenching the fire. Plagues are sent to you, and who may drive them away? Listen, beloved, the plagues and the curses and the consequences of our turning against Messiah. And I try to turn this back to us because, see, we'll get to acting like we ain't done nothing. We act like we innocent. That's how we do in history. We act like, well, so and so came, and the Portuguese, not the Portuguese, but before the Portuguese, the Arabs, the Arabs came and got us. Rome came and got us, and the Arabs came and got us, and the Portuguese came and got us, and the English came and got us, and then the Germans came and got us, and and we go right on down the list talking about who came and got us, who came and kidnapped us, who sold who, and who did all this, and we act like we singing old Negro spirituals, acting like we so innocent. No, we're not innocent. We've got, as brother Malak, he says in terms of that cry, let his blood be upon us and upon our children's children. We've got Hamashiach's blood on our hands. Reminds me of Romans. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God, the glory of Yah. He says, plagues are sent unto you. And I say that to us because these plagues were sent unto us as a consequence. And people don't like to use the word curses. Well, I'm gonna use the word consequence, because anytime we could have taken Deuteronomy 28 1-14, and it could have, and the word of Yah could have benefited us tremendously, economically, politically, sociologically, in commerce, military wise, as a nation. The word of Yah could have benefited us because we broke the covenant, because we turned away from his covenant, would not follow, would not observe his laws, statutes, commandments. The plagues were sent upon us, and no one could drive them away. And Yah did it. And Yah used Babylon. Yah used Asia. Yah used Egypt. Yah used Syria. And Yah used their children and their grandchildren and their great grandchildren. And he used, because all of the nations, all of the Gentile nations emanate from these nations. Yah did it. Yah sent them. Yah used them. Plagues are sent, and no one's going to drive them away. He goes back to nature. He makes us look at nature. And this is why we need to pay attention to nature. This is what Solomon did. The wisest man that ever lived, he would sit somewhere and he would watch nature. Y'all remember that show Animal Kingdom used to come on Saturdays? We would rarely have a home on Saturdays, because if you stayed home, you were going to have to do chores, so, but sometimes the weather was bad, and you was grounded or whatever, and you had to stay at home, and Animal Kingdom would come on, and they would show nature. They would show they would show what do they call that? They would show the survival of the fittest. They would show the leopards and the lions and the cheetahs and the beast of prey. They would show them at work, and you could see when the beast of prey, when they got hungry, when they got angry, they were coming. They were coming after Bambi. They were coming after little Peter Cottontail. And they were coming in all the wrath and all of their fury and all of their training and all of their upbringing. They were using every trick in the book to pounce upon the prey. And so the Most High is telling, he said, listen, look at nature. And when you see a hungry lion in the woods, you might have had a chance if it was just the lion that was hungry, but the lion got a lioness and little lions that are hungry. Come on, man, y'all listen. Some days we don't feel like going to get it, and y'all bless Yemi'el. I ain't mad at him. He's sitting up there talking about he retired and all this type of stuff, and he sit at the house trying to figure out what he gonna do. Well, I'm up at 2:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in the bed, and I got to turn over, and I'm thinking about pulling covers over my head, but I got to go get it. I got a wife. I've got my sons still call me sometime. You know, they might need a little something, and then the grandchildren, and when they call, hey, listen, I can tell my sons no. But when my grandchildren call me and say, Papa, we need this and we need that, no is not in my vocabulary. It's just not there. Those of you who have grandchildren, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, we supposed to spoil them and send them home. But my point, I don't want to get too far off into the beaten path. But the point is that the lion's going forth, and it's not just the lion's stomach that is growling, but his whole family's stomach is growling, and he's coming. He don't care nothing about you. You know, he don't care nothing about you being the baby of the bunch. He don't care nothing about you being crippled, and he don't care nothing about you. He don't care nothing about you. You thought you were grown, so you was gonna wander off from the sheepfold and go your own way, and you got isolated. Well, that lion does not care. And let me tell y'all something. The enemy does not care about you. The enemy wants to devour you. And the way the enemy devours us is he entices us to break off from the path, to break off from the fold, to break off from the truth, to break off from the word, and go our own way. To step outside of the covenant, because as long as we're walking in the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and under the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach, as long as we stay right there, the enemy cannot touch us. But when we stray, because we have strayed, and when we do stray, that lion is coming. You're hungry. You got children that's hungry. I hope this. Okay, there we go. He's looking at the lion. He says, or may one quench fire in stubble when it had begun to burn. These are rhetorical questions that he's presenting to his people through the prophet Esdras. He said, listen, when you sin, suffering is coming. When we rebel, retribution is coming. When we walk outside the line of Yah's word, it's coming, and no one can stay it. And when it begins to roar, and that fire begins to roar, no one can burn, no one can stop. It's uncontained. Yah's wrath is an uncontained fire. That's why we must stop playing with Yah. Those of us who know him, those of us who walk with him, we need to tighten up. Stop playing with Yah, because he's giving us a picture here of one who has released his wrath, and he can't turn it back. Not can't, he won't turn it back. Now, Yemi'el was playing like he was going to be preaching and stuff, and he ain't said nothing yet. Okay, but I'm going to keep going. I'm waiting on him, though. He says, verse 7. May one.
I already told you, don't play with me, because I got the takeover spirit, and I be that took over your whole class.
No, yeah, you got to come on with it.
Well, let me go ahead and say something real quick, then. Since we're gonna go there, hold on. Let me fix this screen. Exit solo. Okay, so let me start off. Let's go back up to chapter 1, and I want you to read it real quick.
Okay.
And I need to bring this to y'all from a different point of view.
Okay.
Go ahead and read chapter 1, verse 1.
Verse 1 says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. That's verse 1.
Okay, verse 2, go ahead.
Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand.
Let me go ahead and tell y'all what just happened. Y'all made a declaration of war. I don't know if y'all understand military terminology. Some of y'all do, some of y'all don't. But in the grand scheme of things and in the big picture, y'all laid out not only a declaration of war, but he declared war.
Yeah.
Not only against Syria, Egypt, Babylon, but all the countries, like brother Joseph has said, that have participated and conjugated and moved on the process of the destruction of Israel. This is important because I need y'all to understand, not only is he war is never declared without warning. The first shot is never a salvo to kill or destroy. There is always a warning shot. If you ever seen the war movies, especially in boats or ship battle, they always say, send the salvo across his bow. Now, in human terms, if you send something across their bow, you cut them, you cut them deep, bro. So he said, send a warning across their bow. And if you ever defended yourself, you want to understand that you want to protect your stomach area. Because what people don't seem to understand, and you'll see it in those old Japanese movies, when those men have been dishonored, they'll get on their knees and they will cut themselves or commit sumikai and cut themselves across their bow. It's one of the most dangerous and painful blows you can ever take, because you don't die immediately. It's excruciating. It's extremely painful. And what Yah is telling them, get yourself girded up. Gird up your loins. Protect your loins. Protect your innards. Because I'm coming. Like Deion Sanders said, I'm coming. And not only am I coming, I'm coming with a sword. And I'm not only coming with the sword has already been drawn. That's what you're seeing. But what you have not seen is these arrows that I got set up. And I don't have just regular arrows. I got arrows that are extremely sharp. And they don't miss. When a Negro tell you, I got something for you and I ain't gonna miss.
I ain't gonna miss.
That's the warning of warnings. Yeah. When somebody say I'm gonna put hands on you and I'm not gonna miss, and you know what he's capable of. See, this is the thing, that these other nations know what our Yah is capable of.
Yeah.
Because they have been subject to him before.
Yeah.
Y'all, I need y'all to get this through y'all's head. He's not only going against the other nations, like Yosef said. There are people in our midst that are a part of us. Because let me tell you, in a war, there are always people that are on your side that ain't on your side.
Right.
What he said, there are some people that say they are Israel and they are not.
They're not.
Yeah. and so what you're going to see, y'all, in this end time is you're going to see some friendly fire incidents. What you're going to think is friendly fire. But what it is Yah is taking out the people around us that don't mean us no good. He gonna move some people that you might love and that you might care about, and you might think are doing the right thing and all along they've been setting your tail up to be destroyed, or they've been working with the enemy all along. And this is why I said the writing is so beautiful, if you look at it, and you know, I tell y'all that I got this gift, and when I was reading it, he took me into an orchard, and I started looking at him in this orchard, at our people walking through an orchard. I mean, being in the orchard, and these other nations would pluck the fruit from the tree
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with no regard of if it would grow back or not. Have you ever seen they collect how they collect oranges? They take a machine and they put it up against the tree, and it shakes the tree,
Mm-hmm.
and they collect the oranges that way. But there are oranges that fall on the ground that don't even get picked up and are destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what Yah is mad about. These people for decades have come through the orchard that he planted with his people. I want y'all to understand, if you go back in the Revelations, you'll see that there's a tree that has 12 different types of fruit on this tree. And these people have been going through the orchard plucking from this tree for decades, for centuries, for millennium, and killing off. Man, bye, Rob. I can't today. I can't. Do you not understand that what Yah is preparing for is retribution for all of those that have been scattered on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
See, some of those things that they have shaken off wanted to be taken,
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be a part of whatever happened. But those ones that missed the catcher, the one that missed the thing that catches the fruit and sends it off to be processed, the ones that fell on the ground and were scattered. Woo! Those that have been scattered, he's coming to redeem those that have been scattered, that didn't want to fall from the tree, that didn't want to be separated from the source, that didn't want to be separated from the thing that was feeding them, that did not want to be moved from the word, that did not want to be separated from Torah, that didn't want to lose their identity, that didn't want to lose their language, that didn't want to lose the relationship that they had with Yah, but was stretched off the tree anyway.
Yeah.
He ain't coming for the ones that gladly got shook off the vine and fell into the bush and became a part of the system. No, he come for them. He came for the ones that are on the ground, that are being trampled on and stomped on and mistreated and scattered across the vineyard against the orchard. And what we got to understand, sometimes in our sadness, in our process of being destroyed. Well, let me put it like this. I can't say destroyed because we've been scattered, we've been dispersed, but we are not destroyed. But in our process of being rebranded into something else, we've lost hope. And Yah's declaration right here to Esdras is telling me, don't lose hope.
Don't lose hope. Yeah.
I'm coming back for you.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a war. And God dang it, I'm going to win. And I'm going to pick you up off the ground, and I'm going to collect you to myself. And I'm going to take you where nobody else thought you would be.
Yeah.
I'm going to clean you up. You trampled and bruised pieces of fruit. And I'm going to take you to a place where nobody else thought you would be. I'm going to sit you in places where nobody else thought you could be.
Hallelujah.
I'm going to do you like Mephibosheth. I'm going to put you in a seat that wasn't meant.
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm sorry, bro. I have sinned so hard and I have fallen so far from his glory. And when I see this, I say, do I even deserve to be picked up off the ground? Y'all, do I even deserve to be wiped clean? Y'all, do I deserve to be put in the baskets, in your basket? You understand? When he picks you up off that ground, he's taking you from 15 to 68 to 1 to 14.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that you're about to be taken from you? You're gonna be like Joseph, sitting in that cell. You done already gifted people. You done already made things happen in people's lives. You done already blessed them. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because Yah has blessed you.
Yeah.
And then one day the cell door gonna open. It's gonna be for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that one day the cell door gonna open? He gonna let you out, and it's not gonna be to bless nobody else. He's gonna let you out so he can bless you.
Mm.
So he can put the signet ring on your finger. So he can take you out of those servant robes and put you in kingly and priestly robes, where he can take your feet and take them off the ground and put them
Yeah.
in sandals.
Yeah.
Where he can set you on a throne that you didn't even make for yourself and give you jurisdiction. Man, y'all better stop me today. I told y'all I was gonna get worked up because y'all, I've been blessed, man. I can't even count the blessings that Yah has blessed me with, even with life. Y'all, I'm so scared. I've been scared for the last year because they found a nodule on my lungs. And everybody that knows me and that have been friends with me have always said, "Why are you breathing funny?" You know, they've always commented on, "Yemi, why do you breathe like that?" And I'm sitting at the doctor this week after reading this, and I'm, I'm gonna fight for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this ain't the first time he done fought for me. I've died before. My daddy used to always tell the story when I drank lighter fluid and they tried to revive me and couldn't. And they told my daddy, "Sorry, you know, your son's gone."
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was like, "No, ain't nothing wrong with that boy." And he just walked back in the back where my body was, just laying there. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, no, that boy ain't going nowhere. Y'all just don't know how to treat him." And he took that sheet off me and he hit me in my chest. And my heart started to beat. And the first words I said out of my mouth after that was, "Daddy." You got to understand that there are things that Yah has in motion, not only for you, that when you think you're dead and you're gone and that you can't fight no more, that he's going to revive you and bring you into a state of where you are no longer on the ground being trampled on, but you're going to be priestly.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all,
Mm-hmm.
stop. I love my people. And me and Joseph had a talk about this the other day. And me and Joseph said, I called Joseph and I said, "Joseph, thank you." And Joseph, I know Joseph was like, "What is this Negro thanking me for again?" And I was like, "Joseph, there was all these times where I had told these Negroes, don't be worried about what's to come and buying land and planting bushes and trees and getting homesteads together." And you're going to see later on in this verse why I'm saying this. And later on in this chapter why I'm saying this. Don't be worried about all of that. Um, don't look to that. We need to be teaching people how to be in the wilderness. Get ready for what's going on in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't say that part to Yosef, but I told him, "Thank you for standing by me on this." Because for a long time, I felt alone. I felt by myself in this. And Yosef said, "Well, Yemi, that's what the words say."
Mm-hmm.
And I felt so, for the first time since I've been in this truth, I felt like Yah had validated me. Because a lot of these Negroes, the first thing they want to talk about is buying 10, 15 acres of land. It's the first, let's get our money together and buy 10 or 15 acres of land. Now, you're supposed to know this book. What 10 or 15 acres gonna do you if they fly over that 10 or 15 acres of land with a dang drone and drop a bomb in there? What you need to be doing is teaching your people how to survive on the move. Because the scripture says he coming to get us and to lead us where? Into the land. Now, the last time I looked, when y'all led us into the land, we can go back into the Exodus, and he led us by a pillar of smoke in day and a flame of fire at night. Y'all better understand. You better learn how to camp out. You better learn how to pick up stuff on the go. And I don't think he even gonna, when we leave out of here, I believe we're gonna leave out of here with great substance. I don't even think he's gonna take us out of here. We just need to be smart enough this time not to be stupid enough when it's time to spy out the land. And I don't even think we're gonna have to spy out the land this time. We just need to be obedient.
Be obedient. Yeah.
I'm sorry for taking over your message, but
no, we've been waiting. We've been waiting for 3 weeks, 4 weeks to hear from you.
But what I got to tell y'all is this: I'm a sinner. I have fallen short. Y'all don't look to me as your leader, as your Messiah. None of that stuff. I'm not none of that. I'm just your brother who's got an understanding that we need to walk this thing out together.
Yeah.
The strong need to get. We need to take this yoke, and I'm so glad that we got this thing in this 2-scale thing, and I need y'all to understand why. If you place the yoke over me and Joseph's shoulders, there are certain things that I'm strong at.
Mm-hmm.
And as we walking down and plowing this road, there are certain things that Joseph is stronger at than me. And he gonna fall to one side, and I'm gonna fall to one side. But we're gonna keep each other straight because we're gonna balance out our strengths and weaknesses. See, when the farmer put his oxen together, he always put an older ox with a younger ox. And he did so that when the time came, he could guide them down the roads. The stronger ox may not be able to last as long as the older ox may not be able to last as long as the weaker ox, as the younger ox. But the older ox knew how to stay straight on the road, and they balanced out each other's strengths and weaknesses. Israel, we at a place. Israel, we are at a place in time that we are at an impasse. And the scripture tells us that the strong must take on the burdens of the weak. And it's our job to balance out the load and let y'all lead us. Esdras is getting us ready. He's getting us prepared to get ready to go out into the desert. He's showing you what's about to happen. Yah has given him insight and foresight to see what is about to happen to us in this last day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling y'all now, if you don't get ready for it, you're gonna be left. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I already know Joseph ain't stopping. I know him well enough to know that if the fire get hot, he gonna look around for a moment. He gonna try to gather his family, but once his feet hit that road, if you ain't there, You gonna be looking for where he at. And I'm gonna tell you, if y'all come to me and I know it's him, I'm not calling for nobody. Because I'm gonna believe that. I know this is gonna sound bad, but y'all just gonna have to understand this. We ain't gonna have time to look for folks. Them dang bridesmaids, them women with the lamps, didn't have time to wait on the other 12, and then the other half of them sisters. They go to the store and get you some oil. I'm out. And if you judge me by it, the hell with you. To let you know right now, I'm gonna let you know right now. So if you go back and look at the message, you'll already know. Yemi'el said he the hell with us. He gonna leave. I'm not calling nobody. I'm not. I'm. Well, I might give y'all a phone call. I might send out a group text, but
ain't no follow up. Ain't no follow up text coming.
Ain't none. So this is what we gonna do. Thank you, y'all. This is what we gonna do. Everybody that's a part of this ministry, everybody that follows us, I need y'all to come to Sukkot this year. No ifs, ands, buts, or supposes. We gonna figure out a way. If you gotta drive, you just gotta drive. Joseph, try to get it in the same spot. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna rent. Let me know when you get it set up, and I'm gonna rent and put a Winnebago out there, so we can have an extra set of showers. We can have some indoor cooking for certain people. Like Stefan won't lose half of our food, and we'll have a refrigerator. Even though that's not the way it's gonna go down, it could possibly go down that way. That somebody, we're lucky enough that somebody might have some change and have something that we can follow them with. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna set up our tents, and and I want us to cope for a week. I don't want to be like we usually do for 3 or 4 days and everybody go their separate way. If y'all coming to Sukkot this year, we gonna Sukkot. They got water. They got.
Yemi got knocked out, and I hope that you all can hear me. Just to pick up from what he was saying, that we need to make an effort, really make more than an effort. You know, we have a um, we have the ability to whatever it is we really want to do, we find a way to get it done. Yah has given us a will. He's given us a will that when we make up our minds, this is why he says in the book of James, he says, a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. He's given us free will. He's given us the capacity to be able to make plans and to be able to stay abreast of, not only stay abreast of those plans, but to stay true to the plan, to the will that we've set forth. And we want to use that determination. We want to use those powers of concentration to make sure that we are able to come together and make Sukkot happen, because we're closer to the end. Listen, Esdras told us last week, we're in the 11th hour. The Most High told him through Uriel that the times that our time is split up into 12. It's like a clock. And he says we're at the 10th hour, and half of that 10th is gone. So we would imagine that we're in the 11th hour. We got to quit playing. We got to quit pussyfooting around, and we've got to take this thing serious. Because here in Ezra chapter 16, he says, "Listen, the fire has been set, the bow has been drawn, it's been released, and no one can stop it. All of it's in motion. It's already done. We just haven't seen it yet." He says, "The lion has been let loose in the forest. He's coming. Can't miss. He's hungry. Got to get that meal. Yeah, we want to make sure that we do everything we can to make this Sukkot a time where we can come together and we got to learn how to do without some AC. We got to learn how to be out there in nature and make do and learn how to come together and work together to get things done. Cooperate with one another on an extended period of
Can
time.
you hear me?
We got you. Come on back in.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, I can't hear you.
Okay.
I can't hear you.
Did you go? Well, no, you didn't go all the way out and come back in.
Hold on. Say something.
Something.
I can't hear you.
Can't hear me? Okay.
Go out and come back in.
Okay.
Okay, y'all. Okay, I understand. I just can't hear him at all. Let me see if I can set up something to where I can hear him. What I was saying though, we need to Sukkot. We don't need to play with this thing. We need to come in here with both fists ablazing. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay, what was you saying?
I was just I just piggybacked on what you were saying. I don't know whether anyone heard me or not, but I was staying right there until you came back in. That we need to make sure that we use our not powers of persuasion, but we use our will and our powers that the Most High has given us. When we make up our minds to do something, as individuals, as those of us who have been indwelt with he's breathed into us the breath of life. We became a living soul, so that when we put our mind to something, we make it happen.
That's a fact. We need to, so we need to make this thing. We need to be obedient to the word, and we need to do this for a whole week. No ifs, ands, buts, and supposes. I understand that we all got backaches. Most of us are over 50. We'll just buy some Big Gay and we'll have a period of rubbing it on each other's backs. Yeah, it's in October this year, and we gonna do some baptisms. We gonna do this the right way. We gonna do this all the right way, y'all. Because we need to let y'all know that we ain't playing, because we know he ain't playing.
He ain't playing. We just read. We're reading it in chapter 16. He ain't playing.
And I was telling the sister this week, we gonna quit trying to be deep about this. We just gonna start trying to be obedient. See, there's one thing about being deep, is that deep don't matter to y'all. You can't outthink them. you can't outthink them. So why you worried about being so deep? What you trying to prove to me? It ain't you that leads. Let me get this out in the open. Negroes, it ain't you that lead nobody to him. It ain't you. It's the ruach that he places in you that leads you to him.
Yeah.
You a vessel. You ain't special, nigga. Ain't nothing special about you. If you don't act right, he'll go find the next person.
Yeah.
But his word is not going to return back void.
No.
So if you don't want to act right, somebody else will.
Yeah.
So what we going to do, and I guess I'm going to do my Nehemiah moment, what we going to do is we going to keep the holy days. And if y'all Negroes come over here buying and selling, I'm putting pause on. Y'all don't know how long it's going to last. I hope that first blow is good, because if I don't get you with this first one, I'm whooped. I'm going to be calling for backup. Stefan, stop cooking and come here. You the youngest. You better hurry up. I don't think I'm gonna make it. But we got to get this thing together. So, Joseph, I'm home. Whenever you get a chance, we'll get together and talk about it. But I'm gonna rent out. I'm gonna set it for those days. I just need somebody that knows how to drive with a. Well, that's my lot. He just gonna have to hook it up to his trailer. We'll get one of those fifth wheel ones, and we'll set it in there. And we gonna have to stay there for a week. We gonna have to pound it out. And I'm gonna tell y'all, don't come over here. Let me go ahead and put it out. Don't come over here being spiritual. We ain't got. Don't come. We had so much fun last week with us just being us. We gonna study the word. Joseph gonna vanish for about an hour and a half every morning. He gonna come back right in time to eat. Joseph gonna vanish. I'm gonna be driving my car up and down the road, running to the bathroom. Don't come being deep. We don't need all of that. What we need is the fellowship. I don't want to have a lecture about the Bible every day. That ain't what we there for. And I know that's gonna come across to some of y'all strange as hell what I just said. But Joseph know what I'm talking about. We don't need no lectures about the Bible. We just need to be brothers and sisters loving on one another in the Word. See, you can be in the Word and not have no lectures. We don't need no everybody being deep. Let's play some games. Let's talk. Let's figure out what to cook. Let's do something. We don't need all of that. Not here.
Yeah.
We're gonna have enough issues. We just need to learn how to get along. We also need to learn how to walk. So we're gonna do some walking together as a group. We're gonna try to get each other's wind up a little bit. You know, we gonna just fellowship and have a good time. And if y'all can't get down with that, and if y'all mad at me for saying I don't need no deep people there, so be it. But we just need to love on one another and to be obedient to y'all. I know dang well, and I'm gonna say this, I know dang well when y'all let them folks out in the wilderness, they ain't spend 24/7 talking about the scriptures and trying to. I just know they did. There was too much other stuff to take care of. Who gonna set the fire? Who gonna do this? Who gonna do that? Is Moses tired? You know. So let's relax and relax.
Yeah.
The holy days are supposed to be for us to relax, y'all. If y'all ain't got it by now, we're supposed to be relaxing, chilling, having a good time, and y'all. So let's get this together, because I think we're gonna have a good time. I really do. And I'm gonna get that Winnebago because I know that some of us can't get on the ground. I'm about to buy something where I don't have to get on the ground and I can still sleep in that cot because I love it. I love sleeping in that tent. It brought back memories. I had fun, except for, trying to get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I still ain't remembered how to do that. So I'm done. You got anything else?
No, I don't. I just want to thank you for coming in and lending your voice.
Oh man,
your not just your voice, but I want to say this. Let me go ahead and say this. One of the reasons, me knowing Yemi and knowing his history, one of the reasons he was so visibly emotional about this is because of the history of his people. See, the Gullah Geechee people, in modern history, they were the last holdovers. They held on to their, I mean, they were forced to speak English, but they as much as they could, they held on to their heritage. They held on to their language. Okay. And they even held on to that land. Let me tell y'all something about this. Let me throw this in here. The Gullah Geechee people. Now y'all know when you go to South Carolina, you go down to Georgia, where they have in the Masters, and they got a Hilton Head. They got some of the most beautiful land in America. The Gullah Geechee people had that land because they what they did was they did what Yah told them to do. They weren't trying to mix and mingle with the Europeans. They wasn't trying to learn how to speak the King's English. They weren't trying to. They weren't throwing away their traditions and their customs and their ways of preparing food and their ways of even growing that rice, the rice. They were rice farmers. That was the reason they were there. They went and got them. They said, well, these Negroes over here, they can grow that rice. So we need to go over here and get them, bring them down here in South Carolina, Georgia, down there along that coast, and get them Negroes to grow that rice, because we don't know nothing about growing no rice. We don't know nothing about it. We getting bit by malaria and we dying. We get them Negroes over here and grow that rice, and they sustain the American. They fed America. They sustained part of the American economy. They kept the tribe tight. And so to see that being broken down and seeing that loss and seeing that being trampled upon, you know, he feel that thing a lot more than most of us. He and his people feel that thing a whole lot more than most of us, because we was trying to conjugate the verbs, and we was trying to go and learn about Shakespeare and Edgar Allan Poe and all these people. The Gullah Geechee people said, no, we gonna stay here on our land, and we're gonna develop our land, and we're gonna grow our rights, and we're gonna keep our traditions, and we're gonna keep our language. So when them folk come over here and we get to talking, they won't know what the hell we saying. We'll understand them, but they didn't understand us.
And be making red rice and okra and fish and grits.
Yeah.
And fish and rice. And I'm gonna tell y'all, man, my grandmother and my grandfather, on my dad's side, my dad's people, them Grants, we are intermingled. When I say my grandmama is my cousin, I'm not lying. When I say my grandfather is my cousin, y'all ain't lying. And I know y'all listening right now laughing y'all butt off. Don't laugh at me. It happened in the scripture.
Yeah, Yemi was. We would have conversations, and he was acting like he was embarrassed about it. I had to remind him, Yemi, we were told, we were instructed. Our ancestors were instructed. You married within your tribe.
Mm-hmm. But see, the thing is, when you don't know, see, it's different when you don't know. So when you hear rumors, they just rumors.
Yeah.
But y'all, bro, when my grandmama died, and I'm sitting up there in that pulpit, and I'm reading that obituary, and I see that my grandmama mama last name was Grant. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on for a second. Ain't that my granddad's last name? I had to go to, after that funeral, I made a beeline straight to the, you always got that cousin that know all the family business.
Yeah.
That's my cousin Lolo. That's my daddy's first cousin Lolo. I made a beeline straight to Lolo. Lolo told me everything, from my granddaddy climbing in windows, taking my grandmama out the window, and marrying her in the secret. And my grandmama had 14 siblings. and they was after my granddad. They had to move.
Mm.
Hey, so they had to move out the county. Oh, they had to move off the plantation and out the county because they was coming for them.
It was covered. Oh my
Shoot.
goodness.
But I was so tickled. I was so tickled, man, when I found out. And I tell my wife, I said, man, I'm inbred as hell. That's why I'm so big, because I'm the biggest Negro in my family on both sides, because all that dang inbreed.
Yeah, you got both. You got both sides.
Hey, you know
got
my
them
dog.
chromosomes. Them chromosomes are doubling up.
Yeah, they done doubled up and tripled up, and I done got big as hell. Y'all, we sorry, man. You gotta be able to laugh at yourself sometimes. I know y'all like, ugh, that's nasty. Hell, that's where I'm from. And what's crazy is, and I'm y'all forgive me, but I'm gonna have to put it out there. Hell, my uncle married to my other cousin.
Mm.
So my cousin Dee Dee, she doubled up. I'm like, wait a minute. Now she doubled up on one side and now doubled up on the other side.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no, y'all nasty.
But remember now, y'all remember. I like to swing it back to the scriptures so y'all can understand where we're coming from. We laugh, we have a good time. But y'all remember when oh my goodness, was it Jacob?
Yep.
It was Jacob that after Jacob had tricked his father. Okay, y'all remember this? And his mother says, "Go to my brother Laban." So Jacob went to his uncle
And got a cousin.
and
Got
got
two
two
cousins.
got
Got two cousins and then two
he,
more cousins. Hey, got two sisters and then two
two
more
sisters. They was both his cousins. See, so when I say, listen, when I say that was the way we were, that was part of our tradition and part of our way, that we were going to marry, not so much on the father's side. We wouldn't do that. But we would like our on the maternal side, when we were looking for a wife within the tribe, say we're Judah, within the tribe, when it was time for that young man to get a wife, he would go to his mom's brother or his mom's sister, and they would they would find her because they knew who they were dealing with.
That's all right.
And the family resemblance would be so strong because they were tribal. We not all this nationalist BS these people talking about. We are a tribal people. We wasn't thinking national. That's part of how we got tricked. We weren't thinking national, nations. We were thinking tribes. So, we would have time when the tribes would come together, but for the most part, we was all about the tribe. But if that ain't, if you're not dealing with, if you're not bothering my tribe, then, we wasn't too much, wasn't too much bother with it. But that's a part of who we are. And we laugh about it and we joke about it, but if we go back and look in the scriptures, we'll see this is us. That's my point. We can go back and look and see how we do stuff, and go back and look to see how they did stuff, and we can see, oh yeah, that's us.
And it's crazy as heck, man. I could be on any of these apps, and somebody from South Carolina could be on this app, and I'm like, that's my people. And
Mm-hmm.
when the thing is say, hey, you got any people in Bamberg County, South Carolina? They like, man, that's where I'm from. I said, okay, are you from Earhart or Walterboro? And them jokers say, I'm from Walterboro. Who are you? And I start naming names, and them jokers, oh yeah, we people.
Name and name. So you just said something. We got to go. We got to go. But see, this is why they took our names. This is why they would not let us use that name, because you start naming names, baby.
You know who you are.
You know who you are.
It's crazy. Man, I thank you, Ox, for being here with us today to teach Love you, man. Stay on though. Stay on after this. Don't forget.
Okay.
Everybody, I'm gonna pray us out. Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, Elohim. We thank you for the word that you put forth. We thank you, our Kakadesh, for your word made flesh. Yah, we ask that you would continue to bless us through this day. Allow our bodies to rest and be replenished. Give us strength that we may be able to go on for another week. And we come back to this place and we meet and share your word again. Yah, we thank you for what you have given us and we hold tight to it. And we ask that you multiply it and allow us to walk in it in the fullness. All these things we ask in your name, and we give you the highest praise by saying hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
And we love you. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, family.